Have you ever wondered how technology has evolved over millions of years? Let's journey back, way back, to the dawn of technology, a time when our ancestors were first making their mark on the world. Yes, we're talking about a staggering 3.3 million years ago when the first known tools were created. Imagine the scene. The sun is setting over the vast expanse of Lake Turkana in Kenya, a place rich in history and teeming with life. It's here that we find the first evidence of technology in the form of sharp flakes of stone used as knives and larger unshaped stones utilized as hammers and anvils. These rudimentary tools, though simple by today's standards, were revolutionary in their time. They were the stepping stones to the technological world we know today. But who were the creators of these tools? It's believed these early innovators were likely an ancestor like Australopithecus. This hominid, a forebear of modern humans, took a significant leap forward in the evolution of technology. They moved beyond using what nature provided to actively shaping their environment with the tools they created. These stone tools allowed our ancestors to cut, carve, and smash their way through the world. They could process food more efficiently, craft more complex shelters, and defend themselves against predators. In essence, these tools were the keys that unlocked a new way of life. A life where humans could start to control their surroundings rather than simply react to them. The invention of these tools was a turning point, a spark that ignited the flame of innovation, a flame that has been burning ever since. It set the stage for all the technological advancements that were to follow, from the discovery of fire to the invention of the wheel, from the forging of iron to the creation of the internet. As we see, the roots of technology are deeply embedded in our prehistoric past. The story of technology is the story of us, of our relentless quest to understand, to improve, to innovate. It's a story that started millions of years ago, and one that continues to unfold today. Imagine life without fire. Difficult, isn't it? The exact moment when our ancestors first used fire remains shrouded in mystery. Yet it is widely speculated that it was not Homo sapiens, but an ancestor who first tamed this elemental force. Evidence supporting this theory comes from the remnants of burnt material found in caves once inhabited by Homo erectus. These traces, dating back to about 1 million years ago, provide tantalizing clues about the early use of fire. Imagine the awe and trepidation our forebears must have felt, witnessing the destructive and life-giving power of fire for the first time. Fire provided warmth, protection, and a new way to prepare food, forever changing our dietary habits. The mastery of fire was not just about survival. It was a catalyst for social development, bringing people together around a communal hearth. Harnessing the power of fire was a turning point in our evolutionary journey. The Neolithic period was a time of profound change, but what exactly happened? In the blink of an eye, on the grand scale of human history, our ancestors transitioned from a life of wandering and foraging to one of settlement and agriculture. The Neolithic Revolution, as this transformative period is called, wasn't just about farming, though. It was a complete overhaul of human lifestyle and the birthplace of many technologies we take for granted today. Imagine, if you will, a group of early humans. For thousands of years, their survival depended on hunting, gathering, and moving with the seasons. But then, something shifted. They began to notice that seeds, when dropped in the earth, sprouted into plants. This realization was nothing short of revolutionary. It meant they could stay in one place, grow their own food, and have a more reliable source of sustenance. The advent of agriculture was a game changer, but it didn't stop with farming. As humans settled down, they started forming larger, more complex social groups. Villages became the norm. And with more people living in close proximity, cooperation and coordination became essential. This social evolution led to the development of early forms of governance and law. Meanwhile, our ancestors were also discovering new uses for readily available materials. Clay, for instance, was shaped into pottery for storing food and water, and bricks for building homes. These seemingly simple objects were actually technological leaps, allowing for more efficient storage and more durable shelters. Clothing, too, underwent a transformation. Instead of relying solely on animal hides, early humans began to weave fabrics from plant fibers. This not only offered greater variety and comfort, but also opened up new opportunities for artistic expression. And let's not forget the wheel. While we can't say for certain when it was invented, it's likely that it first appeared during the Neolithic Revolution. The wheel, quite literally, set human society in motion, paving the way for advances in transportation and machinery that are foundational to our modern world. The Neolithic Revolution set the stage for the technological advancements that were to come. Water, the source of life, was also the source of civilization. Around 6,000 years before the Common Era, the first irrigation systems began to take root. These systems were not isolated phenomena, but sprang up almost concurrently in two of the world's earliest civilizations, the Tigris-Euphrates River Valley in Mesopotamia and the Nile River Valley in Egypt. In the arid landscapes of Mesopotamia, the inhabitants harnessed the waters of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, constructing complex networks of canals and ditches. This allowed them to transform the dry, unyielding earth into fertile fields, capable of supporting crops and sustaining life. Similarly, in Egypt, the Nile's annual floods were unpredictable and could be destructive. The Egyptians ingeniously devised a system of dikes and basins to control these floods. They captured the floodwaters, held them back, and released them gradually, ensuring their lands remained verdant and productive throughout the year. These feats of engineering did not just magically appear. They required a great deal of planning, labor, and coordination, reflecting a high level of social organization. These civilizations had to come together, to work as one, to turn their harsh environments into bountiful lands. But these irrigation systems did more than just water the crops. They laid the foundation for civilization itself. They allowed societies to settle down, to grow, to build cities, to develop culture, and to advance their knowledge. In essence, irrigation was a technological marvel that allowed civilizations to flourish. From the land to the water, the first sailing ships took us on new adventures. The Nile River, a lifeline for ancient civilizations, became the birthplace of sailing around 4,000 years before the Common Era. These early ships were not just simple vessels, but technological marvels of their time. The Nile, unlike the vast ocean, offered limited space for free sailing. This constraint led to a fascinating innovation. The first sailing ships were not solely reliant on the wind, but also had oars for navigation. These oars provided the much-needed maneuverability in the narrow and sometimes treacherous waters of the Nile. Imagine the scene: a ship with a single square or rectangular sail, billowing in the breeze, and rowers rhythmically pulling the oars. These ships were not just modes of transport, but also symbols of human ingenuity and the desire to conquer new frontiers. Sailing opened up new possibilities for trade, exploration, and cultural exchange. The Nile, with its predictable flooding and the fertile land it nurtured, was already a cradle of civilization. Sailing added another dimension to this, turning the river into a bustling highway of commerce and communication. The technology of sailing was a game changer. It transformed societies, economies, and ultimately the course of human history. Sailing was yet another step in our technological evolution. The Iron Age was a time of dramatic change, but why? The answer lies in the earth itself. Iron, a plentiful resource, began to replace bronze as the metal of choice, marking a significant shift in our technological story. The production of iron became widespread around 1200 BCE, with this robust and abundant metal eclipsing bronze in popularity. Why was this so transformative? Well, bronze was made from copper and tin, two metals that were not as abundant as iron. This scarcity meant that not everyone could afford bronze tools. However, when iron production took off, it changed the game. Suddenly, metal tools were not just for the elite. They were in the hands of many, revolutionizing work, trade, and warfare. This democratization of metal tools was a turning point, a true marker of progress. The Iron Age marked a major shift in technological advancements. This was the era when technology truly became a tool for the masses. Gunpowder, an invention with explosive implications. But how did it come about? Picture this: alchemists in ancient China diligently seeking elixirs to extend life. In their quest, they stumbled upon a concoction with a powerful kick: gunpowder. Initially, its use was far from the battlefields. It was harnessed to propel rockets attached to arrows, adding an extra thrust to their flight. But the story of gunpowder doesn't end in China. It traveled along the Silk Road, reaching the Western world in the 13th century. There, it found a new purpose. Europeans recognized its potential for warfare, incorporating it into their arsenals and forever changing the face of combat. Gunpowder, though initially invented for peaceful purposes, had a profound impact on warfare in the course of history. What a journey we've been on, from the first stone tools to the invention of gunpowder. We trace the footsteps of our ancestors, witnessing their ingenuity in harnessing fire, revolutionizing life with agriculture during the Neolithic period, mastering irrigation, navigating the Nile, entering the Iron Age, and inventing gunpowder. These milestones shaped the trajectory of human civilization, paving the way for the world as we know it. This is just the beginning of the story of technology. Stay tuned for more as we delve deeper into the evolution of technology in our upcoming videos.